Hey everybody, and welcome to my in5 series where I cover a topic in about 5 minutes. Today, I want to kind of talk about what I've got set up for studio microphones and effects, and kind of what I'm doing and how I'm using them, and what I've been trying to do with the MPC to try and get a similar sound. This might be more than 5 minutes, but you've been warned. Anyway, what I've got right now is a Shure SM7B. This is what I'm talking into. I've been using this for 3 years, and I really prioritized trying to make sure I had as strong a signal with low noise and a bit of tone, just like that I felt like would help my voice sound a little bit better or cut through like mixes when I'm talking over like things I'm doing for like production on the MPC or another device. So I spent a lot of time researching some devices and specific effects and things that I thought I would need to do what I wanted. And came up with a chain that I've talked about before, but we're going to go over it again, and then I'll talk about what I've been doing on the MPC here. You can see it's picking up some stuff. It's grabbing it from the Teenage Engineering CM15, but I also have this AKG D880. It's a dynamic microphone, which does not require power and is a little bit easier to set up, but it's more here just to say like, there's a lot of types of different microphones out there, and just read up on them and educate yourself. So, with that said, Shure SM7B that I'm talking into right now is going into a cloud lifter. This is basically taking phantom power and doing a good job of increasing the volume and signal of the microphone that without raising up a lot of noise. Because when you're amplifying a signal, you're typically going to increase the line noise or signal noise and have a higher noise floor. So you're going to just get more hiss from background noise, the electrical environment, magnetic field, wherever you're picking it up from. And so I've got the Cloud Lifter as the first device we're going into in the chain. Here's my rack, and you can see I've got two microphones, basically got two channels going at the same time. The left side is the Shure SM7B. The right side is the AKG here. And I just usually have it plugged in just in case I want to grab it. It's easy to go just plug it into like an input someplace and have some of the effects and configuration the way that I like it for doing vocal work. So up first, the Behringer here, the Ultra Gain Pro, it is a tube amplifier. It is providing power to the cloud lifter, which is why I think that's the red light that's on, and that's just to tell it provide phantom power so that we can use the condenser mic and get it up there. And then I've gotten all kinds of settings in here for the tube amplification to kind of get the tone and volume that I wanted without it having or sounding kind of blown out. Like if you get too much amplification, it'll just start sounding really, really extreme, and that can be a real problem. But you also want to be able to talk at varying levels. Like I can kind of whisper, talk a little bit lower, or talk a little bit higher, and it'll change the tone of my voice, but it doesn't fully change the volume of my voice when I'm doing YouTube videos and things, which is in great part being helped out by the middle piece here, which is the Behringer Composer Pro XL. And on what you can see, like with all the lights moving and things, is it's really going through and trying to do a first filtering for line noise, and or not line noise, it's filtering for just like background noise. So things like the fan in the background running, or like I just saw a bunch of cars drive by. It's really trying to help, like if that's the only thing that's playing for noise, just kind of cut that out. On the other hand, when I'm talking, that stuff will make it through because I'm talking loud enough that it's opened that gate and it's no longer silent. I did put it in a mode where it doesn't go fully silent. Instead, what it's really doing is kind of pulling the audio down lower without going fully silent. So if I stop talking, you if you really went through and checked out the amplification, you'd probably hear like my dogs walking around or the AC kicking in or other things, but it's going to be just much quieter, but not perfectly silent. I don't particularly care for the effect where you have like that hard noise gate where it just closes and then you hear nothing but silence. It just sounds unnatural because it cuts reverb down from like the room reverb and other things like very quickly and very harshly. Um, from there, though, I've also got it set to function as a compressor and limiter. So I'm compressing it so that as I'm talking, at different levels. It goes up and down to kind of get everything to be about the same level for my speaking volume when you hear it on a video. I do have a speaking problem where and it just takes practice, but when I'm speaking, sometimes I'll kind of trail off and go down in volume, which can make it harder for people to hear like the things I'm saying at the tail end, which are sometimes very important. And people are like, what did you just say?" And I don't mind repeating it, but just letting you know, like this is just kind of a speaking behavior or pattern that I know I have, and the compressor does help this out a lot. Similarly, the limiter is in place to try and make sure that if I do speak very loud, that I can only go up so high before it will start really pulling that sound back down. So we're kind of doing a push and pull on the audio to try and get it into place. And then underneath this, I've got the Aphex 204 right here. And this is really just it's just like adding some tone to my voice a little bit. Um, I initially got this because it's got some things that will help improve the bassiness of sound. So if you really want to like, I think they call it like big bottom or something, but the intent is that you can get extra harmonics in your low end without necessarily having to really increase the overall volume of your track. So it's got like some cool stuff in there. I just went through all of these devices and kind of just, I mean, you could probably steal 90% of like where the knob positions and button positions are if you went and bought these devices. Honestly, I think you can do a ton of work with just the Ultra Gain Pro and the Composer Pro XL. For the price of them, they both are very performant and have a lot of features and things that you would need. I don't even know that you necessarily need the cloud lifter in the chain, but since I had already bought it and kind of knew how it worked, I was happy to put it in there. So for folks that are out there, though, like definitely check out what I have for settings and for position of the knobs and things, and see if like that kind of gets you a starting point if you're looking to do your own vocal work. From there, I'm going to just turn off this camera and just kind of show you. Like really all I'm doing is from there, the audio's going, the microphone is going into this Dig Dug DIY box, which is kind of twisted up in cables at the moment. But this box here, boy, I can't, it's so twisted up in cables. I should have untwisted it before starting the video. Important thing is it's basically out here creating a TRRS jack that is doing headphone output, and then it's got a line input. And the reason why I'm doing this is the output from my chain down there is line level. And by bringing it into here, I can then kind of take advantage of a feature on the the TX6. You want to say TP7. The TX6 has a TRRS jack. And you can actually use this with just like Apple Pro or like your Apple AirPods or EarPods, the Apple headphones that have the microphone and headphones in them. Anything that's got like that TRRS jack, you can use a headset that has a microphone and talk into it. Basically that Dig Dug DIY box is basically just allowing me to use a line level instead of microphone level to get it into the TX6. And it allows me to play the audio into my headphones so I can hear myself talking and get that like microphone in the value in there. And then this all goes to my computer so that I can get it into OBS. So it's handling mixing all 6 channels potentially if I have something on all 6 channels, plus the microphone is kind of a 7th free channel. And it works pretty well. With all that said, I've got this whole setup. Why am I messing around with the MPC? Well, I've been trying to figure out what I can get for a audio setup that at least sounds fairly similar without having to take all that rack gear and the SM7B and the cloud lifter and all this stuff. Like what can I do if I just wanted to have like one device and potentially still be able to do audio work at a fairly decent level? I could probably do this on the iPhone. I could probably do it on my computer, but the microphones there tend to be not so great. I do have this the CM15 that I do like a lot. It is a condenser mic still, and it is powered. So it's got a battery in it, and you can adjust what gain level that you want here to be able to increase the volume. So I'm going to just kind of pull back the microphone for a second. and talk into the other mic, and you can hear, like, this is, well, you might not be able to hear part of it. I've been trying to go through and just sample and hear how it sounds. And to me, I'm trying to get it similar to what it sounds like in headphone. There's a couple problems. One is, to me, this sounds like I'm talking into a chorus effect, even though after I record it, it does not sound like that. So there is some latency or delay that the MPC is introducing by going through this chain with plugins versus going through the hardware chain that I have, like the rack effects. Totally okay, but it's just one of those things that you got to keep in mind. But to go over the settings for like what I've got over here right now, I've tried out, and I'm using the air tube drive because that's what I'm doing as one of the early effects in the rack setup here, and I'm just using the air tube drive clean amp. When I pulled everything else back, this actually sounded pretty good to me. I like this as a good kind of getting started. Add a little saturation for some extra like tone or color, and here, I'll push the microphone back a little bit more. I do feel like I'm picking up a bit more breath noises because I don't have, as part of this, a like noise. I got a noise gate here, but not like I guess kind of like ambient, like de-esser or anything else that might be kind of picking up some of the extra noise. Not a problem. That said, air noise gate is next, and I just put in the light gate over here, and I've been pretty happy with it. I'm probably going to come in and tweak it a little bit just to see if I could adjust some of the attack, hold, or release to get it to be a little bit better, but I do feel like it's doing a pretty good job picking up and eliminating a lot of the background noise. Like, I can stop talking. I feel like it's not clicking, and it's not a unnatural pullback on the audio and the sound. And then from here, I can see, looking at OBS, like I'm probably sounding about 10 dB quieter, even though I sound about the same volume in my headphones here. If I come into the last one, I currently have the compressor Vintage that I've been using, and I'm really just using the hard compressor. This is another one I will probably just come in and tweak the settings a little bit more, but yeah, it works fine for what I've been trying to do. Now, a couple other things to show you is I'm going to adjust the gain here. I just want to show you like why you may want to do this and kind of what the problem is. So I just put this into the middle setting, and you can hear, like, if I shake the microphone here, the capsule that's in there, it does kind of vibrate and pick up some noise. But I also don't have to have the microphone like right up in my face. I can pull back and talk a little bit louder to keep about the same level of volume. But the other problem with doing that is you're hearing a lot more of the room noise here, and that's getting picked up. And I don't have any like wall treatment, really. It's just whatever furniture I have in the room that's helping absorb some noise, but I haven't gone through and put up like foam or, bass traps in the corners or anything else. So, just a couple things to think about and consider how you want to work. Where do you want the mic positioning, and how much background noise are you willing to take? But you can hear, like, as I get closer, it's getting a little blown out sounding. That's just where you get like just too much amplification for the audio coming in. So yeah, just actually might as well just go back to this. So yeah, I don't like. I'm gonna keep playing around with some of my settings here on the MPC. You probably couldn't have. I don't know how you would have heard, but like, as I said, like that chorusy kind of effect that I was hearing in my headphones, where basically I can hear myself talking, and then like a few milliseconds later, I'm hearing it play back in my head. It just gets to be like, I'm okay with it. I'm not a fan of it. It just sounds a little weird. I'm also have to keep in mind, I've been using this setup for over 3 years now, so I'm very used to how my voice sounds talking through this setup. And any small change sometimes is very noticeable. That said, though, I I don't know what I'm going to do for noise gate on the SP404 Mark II. I am going to play around with it and see how well I can get either the CM15 or the D880 working here. Um, get that hooked up into the chain. I'll probably talk about that again in the future at some point. For people that are interested in my setup for what I'm doing or anything else, definitely like feel free to hit me up. I'm happy to try and answer questions or do more videos on this. I know sometimes you can find really good resources on it, and sometimes people just don't talk about it. I don't particularly feel like it's something that needs to be gate kept because clear, clean, consistent audio is important and it will help you get your message out there. So, the more ways we can do it, the better. I will probably start also playing around with just some settings in OBS to see if I can get anything working there as well. Just to, again, just to help folks out and be able to say like, hey, try these things. If anybody has any advice or suggestions themselves, please drop in the comments. Happy to see what other folks are doing and trying out. With that said, thanks everybody for stopping by, hanging out, and hopefully this will get any of you out on your own or playing around with some of these pieces of technology and getting your own mic chain set up. Thanks for stopping by. Keep making music, keep having fun. Remember, if it sounds good, it is good. And peace.